This might shock you, but it's a no-go on the Green New Deal. Senate Republicans voted unanimously against the plan, and while most Democrats just simply voted present to protest Mitch McConnell's attempt to get the Dems on the record regarding this controversial resolution. Now, this as the woman behind the plan, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, flips out after Republicans call the plan elitist.
The Green New Deal is one that if you're a rich liberal from maybe New York or California, it sounds great because you can afford to retrofit your home or build a new home that has zero emissions, that's energy efficient, affordable, and safe.
You want to tell people that their concern and their desire for clean air and clean water is elitist? Tell that to the kids in the South Bronx, which are suffering from the highest rates of childhood asthma in the country.
Well, we brought him back. Republican strategist Ford O'Connell and Democratic strategist Danielle McLaughlin. All right, Ford, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that if the apocalypse was upon us and the world was going to end in 12 years, and guess what? Senate Democrats would have voted for this instead of actually force Senate Democrats to join the Republicans. Zero of them voted for it. This is a luxury issue because, yes, we all do care about the environment, but if you don't have a job and you can't eat, frankly, it's not at the top of your scale, and we have far more pressing problems in America. And when it comes to the U.S. CO2 emissions reduction, we've reduced 16% since 2000. That is the most in the industrialized world. We are doing more than anyone else when you throw in China, India, and Russia.
Danielle?
This is exactly about poverty, actually. You think about what AOC talked about with kids in the Bronx. You think about the children in Flint who don't have clean water. Right. You go out 10 years, you go out 5.
But this climate change bill, how does that change that for them?
What this bill does, it's a little bit kitchen sink, admittedly, but they are talking about making sure that we have infrastructure, making sure that we have clean jobs, making sure that we don't have coal tailings going into rivers in places like Kentucky, so that people who are working and living in those places actually can live healthily, breathe the air, drink the water. That matters.
I think that we all agree to some extent pollution does hurt the environment. Here's where the Republicans have a problem. What the Democrats are selling, particularly through the Green New Deal, is pixie dust. You're talking about the biggest restructuring of the American economy in the history of this country. And essentially, if we do everything the Democrats suggest and don't go fully bankrupt in the process, guess what? It's not going to change the worldwide environment. It's only going to kneecap us in terms of competing with the rest of the world.
But Democrats have an idea. What are Republicans doing? Absolutely nothing. They're talking about the market, but the market is
driving down carbon emissions in this country.
That's not exactly true. We have tariffs on China. We have solar panels that are meant to be coming in here. I mean, that's a problem.
I'd say what you got to look at is our CO2 emissions as a percentage of our GDP. It's gone down almost 50% in the last 20 years. I mean, we have done some great things. I don't think we get credit for it. But here's my problem with AOC, and I want you to answer this for me. I was born in Harlem. And I have relatives in the South Bronx. I bet I spend more time in the South Bronx than she does. You know, this has been an issue for a long time, but they've studied it. They said one of the problems is because these are poor folks. They have dust-loaded furniture and carpets. They don't have the proper cleaning equipment. They can't visit doctors. Another report found that cockroach and mouse allergens are really the most common problem. And then there was another report that says these households have significantly more people smoking in them than others. So how is that something that all taxpayers should pay for? In other words, you know, whenever the Democrats have an issue and then they bring race into it, either directly or indirectly, as you know, it bothers me because we should be dealing with this, but this has nothing to do with her plan.
I don't agree with you, Charles. That one of the things with the Green New Deal is the idea that we would have a $15 minimum wage, that we don't have working poor in this country. That's one place where the market's not doing its job.
People aren't moving out of these places with $15 minimum wage, and I pray one day that Democrats stop telling black people the best they could aspire to is higher minimum wage. It's the worst oxymoron in the world. $15 ain't what I want any black person to make. Start telling black people you want to make $100 an hour, and then I'll cross the line.
But there are poor whites as well, right? We have people in Appalachia, but they're not making enough to live.
I'm just saying when you start